Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be doing a long awaited video. A lot of people have requested this video from me, and honestly it's been a case of being able to get properly to the shelves that I need, shelves that I need to get to for this video, but also finding the time to do so, because I think this is going to be a reasonably long video. You will have already seen the title and the thumbnail, and this is basically my entire comic book, graphic novel and manga collection. Now the majority of these I have read, but there's a good portion that I haven't as well, so I will let you know as I'm going through what I haven't read. Let's get into it. So I don't own a great deal of manga, so let's go through that first to start off with. I do want to get more into manga, to be honest. I have read a reasonable amount, but I don't own a lot of it. Also, you know, shelf space is a big thing for me. I only have 2 shelves right at the bottom here dedicated to my graphic novel, manga and comics, and I'm running rapidly out of space because I want to get more into. I do love having graphic novels and stuff and manga, so I do want to get more into it. So Tokyo Ghoul is my first one. I do have volume 1 of Tokyo Ghoul and then volume 2, but then I also got volume 2 Tokyo Ghoul Re, which is like a spin-off series I think from this one. So I accidentally bought this one before I bought the proper volume 2 for Tokyo Ghoul. So I've read the first one, but I haven't continued because I kind of want to, I feel like this is going to be one of those that I want to binge, so I kind of want to get some more in the collection before I carry on reading it, so that I can, you know, binge it a bit more. And then I don't know what to do with this. I'm like, do I get rid of it or do I get the first one and give it a go? I don't know if I'm meant to wait until I finish this series before I pick this one up, so I do need to read into that a little bit more. If anybody's got any information on that one, please let me know. But I have read volume 1 of Tokyo Ghoul, I have volume 2, and I have volume 2 of Tokyo Ghoul Re, which again, I don't know the full ins and outs. And I'm not going to read you the synopsis of all of these because we'll be here forever, but essentially this is following a boy called Ken who is shy, and then he ends up going on a date with a girl, but it turns out she's a ghoul. And ghouls live among us the same as normal people in every way, except they're craving for human flesh. And then things start going a bit haywire for him, and turns out he could have been bitten and now he's a ghoul. So that's that one. The next series that I do have is Dreaming Sun, which I picked up because of Becca, because she's read some of this and enjoyed it. And I have read, I think, volumes 1 and 2, I think, but I do have volumes 3, 4 and 5, and I want to get some more of these before I continue reading it, because again, it's another one that could be bingeable. This follows a young girl called Shimana who basically feels out of place in her own home since her mother died. Her dad has moved on, he's now with somebody else, and they've had a new baby, and she feels very out of place. So one day she decides that she's going to run away. She doesn't go to school. She comes across this man on a park bench who basically gives her 3 challenges. One of them is to find his house keys, because he hasn't got them and he needs to get in his house. The second one is to tell him why she ran away from home. The first one is to tell him why she ran away from home. The second one is to find his house keys. And the third one is to basically be happy, have a dream and fall in love. And then she ends up moving in with this guy and several other guys that live in the house. There are problems, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. There are problems, there are issues. This girl is incredibly young, incredibly young, she's about 17 I think, so there are issues, but I enjoy it. In general, it's quite cool and I enjoy it, so I'm having a good time with it, and I do want to continue on with this one, but I do want to get some more. And look how colourful it is as well, so pretty. The next series that I have read both of these, and it is My Brother's Husband and My Brother's Husband Volume 2. I've read this series twice now and I really enjoy it. So this is following Yachi and Kana, his daughter, and also Mike. So Mike was married to Yachi's brother, and Yachi's brother died, and Mike has now come to visit them in Tokyo. However, Yachi has some very old ways of thinking and was never particularly accepting of his brother's sexuality, so he's struggling with Mike a little bit, but Yana kind of bridges the gap between them both and makes her dad realise that he's being a little bit rude, and also he should probably stop thinking the way he thinks and just be more accepting. So it deals with grief, family, loss, love, quite a lot, and it's really, really good, and I really enjoy it. It's very, very cute. So I would recommend this one. It is adorable. The illustration style is great. The story in general is really, really good, and I have read it twice. I did enjoy that one. Then I do have a new one, which is 5 Seconds Before a Witch Falls in Love. I haven't read this one before. I think it's queer and I want to save it for spooky season. And it's a magical enemies to lovers book. And I'm really looking forward to it. So it sounds cute. I ended up getting it from, I can't remember where I got it from, to be honest. But it sounds good and I'm looking forward to that one. Another one I haven't yet read is Kaiju 8, which is a story basically set in Japan, and is following, there's like a, if you've watched the movie Pacific Rim, I think it's going to be like about that essentially, but there is a defense force and a military organization tasked with neutralizing of kaiju. Kaiju are these like monster things. Kafka, a kaiju corpse cleanup man, has always dreamed of joining the force, but when he gets another shot at achieving his childhood dream, he undergoes an unexpected transformation. How can he fight kaiju now that he's become one himself? Interesting. So I am looking forward to this one because I do love Pacific Rim. I don't think it's going to be the same as that, but it's based off of kaiju as well. So if you've read this one and you haven't watched Pacific Rim, you might enjoy that. But if you've watched Pacific Rim and you haven't read this, you may enjoy it. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know that for certain, but I do have volume 1. And then the final lot of manga that I have is Death Note. I do have all of them. Volume 2 is downstairs waiting to be read. So this is volumes 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It's taken me a while to get hold of them all. I have only read volume 1, but I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to read the rest. I wanted to get them all so I could binge it. So I am looking forward to reading the rest. It follows a young boy called Light, whose dad is a cop, and one day he comes across a Death Note, which is basically a book in which if you write somebody's name down in it, within 40 seconds they will die of a heart attack unless you specify a certain time and different way for them to die. That's how it goes down. The Shinigami in which the Death Note belongs to comes and helps Light with his mission of trying to eradicate the world of evil. So that's what's going on here. I don't know where that's going to go from that point on, whether he's going to end up with a power trip or a god complex, I'm not sure. But yeah, that is the manga that I own. Then I do have a collection of like fun, cute little books that I don't know if you would classify them as graphic novels or not, but they are illustrated comics essentially, I suppose. So I've got A Quiet Girl in a Noisy World, an introvert story by Debbie Tung. I have another one by Debbie here as well. Actually I have 2 more by Debbie, and I really enjoy her books. They're really good. They're mostly like just about life and stuff. This one is essentially following a useful guide for extroverts who need some help understanding their less social counterparts, and a huge sigh of relief for introverts everywhere. It's very good. I saw myself massively in this as an introvert, and I think it would be very useful for partners of introverts to read this, especially if you're an extrovert yourself and you don't fully understand why they are the way they are. This will be very, very good for you. But it is very cute and very, very nice indeed. It's all kind of own voices as well. Debbie Tung is quite very much so an introvert, and she does speak from the heart with these as well, and I really enjoy it. The other one that I have is Happily Ever After and Everything in Between, which is, you know, a relationship one. Again, very, very similar, and I think it's really good. It's about her and her husband and their marriage and stuff, and it's really good. Again, related to it in some ways. And then Book Love by Debbie Tung as well, which is, you know, a bookworm's life. And it's very accurate, and I would recommend it. So I have that one. The other one I have here is by James Norbury, and it is Big Panda and Tiny Dragon. This is very much so like the mole, the fox, the horse, the boy. I don't know what order that goes in, but it's like that. But it's just very simple, about a panda and a tiny dragon. Just, you know, the best thing to have with tea, said the panda, is a good friend. together we can do anything. It's just very, very cute and really adorable. If you're having a bad day, it's a perfect book to be picking up, so I do have that one as well. And then I do have Strange Planet by Nathan W. Pyle, which is just adorable, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm fairly certain Maddie's mum got me this. Yes, she did. Sheila, thanks Sheila. And again, it's just comic strips of these aliens just living their best life essentially, and it's just really, really cute and good and fun. So I do have that one as well. I also have a dinosaur one. Oh, it's over there, Dinosaur Therapy, which I also have as well. So I haven't read that one yet, but I have read all of these, so I would recommend them all if you're interested in them, especially the book lovers one. For those of us that are book lovers, would recommend that one. So yeah, do check them out. Okay, then some actual graphic novels. So I do have some series here. We've got Check Please Volume 1 and also Volume 2. I have only read Check Please Volume 1 so far. This is following a boy called Eric, who essentially goes to university or college in the States and wants to play hockey, but he also loves baking. He is gay, and he hasn't necessarily come out to his teammates, and he ends up falling in love with the one of his best friends on the team, and it's really, really good. I loved it. I thought it was very, very cute. It's very unique the way it's told as well, like this, and it's almost like diary entries from Eric a little bit as well. So I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to getting to Volume 2. The only reason I haven't picked it up yet is that it's quite chunky, especially compared to Volume 1, and it does take quite a bit of reading, like brain power a little bit, because in some of the pages you'll get a lot of text, as you can see. So haven't yet had the chance to pick it up, but I am hoping to do so soon. Then I do have Secrets of Camp Whatever by Chris Gwine, and Secrets of Camp Whatever, The Doors to Nowhere, which is Volume 2, which has not long since come out. I read this one last year on a whim. Totally random. I was looking for some middle grade graphic novels to read for Believathon, and I ended up picking this one up, and I ended up really, really enjoying it. We're following 11-year-old Willow, who doesn't want to go to her dad's weird old summer camp any more than she wants her family to move to the weird old town where the camp is located. But her family and fate itself seem to have plans of their own. Soon Willow finds herself neck deep in a confounding mystery involving stolen snacks, suspected vampires, and missing campers, all shrouded in the sinister fog that hides a generation of secrets at Camp Whatever it's called. And it's really good. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was good. I liked the supernatural elements in here, and I am looking forward to picking up Volume 2 very soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Then I do have Snapdragon by Kat Leigh. I haven't read this one. I believe it's witchy. Snapstown has a witch, at least that's the rumour. In reality, Jax is just a Crocs wearing internet savvy old lady who sells the skeletons of rollkill online. It's creepy, sure, but Snap thinks it's kind of cool too. Snap needs a favour from this old woman though, so she begins helping Jax with her strange work. Snap gets to know her and realises that Jack may in fact have real magic and unlikely connection to Snap's family past. It sounds intriguing. I haven't read it yet. I don't know if I'm going to like the illustration style in this one, but I am intrigued by it nonetheless, and it sounds like it's perfect for spooky season as well, so I am going to give it a go. Then I have Seons Tea Party by Ramina Yi. I have read this one. This was freaking adorable. It was absolutely perfect, and it's basically a middle grade about growing up. This young girl, she doesn't want to grow up, and she ends up coming across the spirit of another young girl who has never had the chance to grow up, and basically this spirit kind of helps our young girl, who is called Laura, realise that growing up is not as scary as she thinks it's going to be, and it's not as lonely as she thinks it's going to be. It's actually really exciting, and it's just beautiful. It's such a beautiful graphic novel, and I had such a good time reading it. And yeah, it was adorable. I would recommend this one. Also, it's just incredibly pretty as well, so I would recommend it. It was really cute. I might try and reread it during spooky season because I think it will be really cute one to reread. Then I have Hooky, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway, and this is another witchy one. It looks like it's got proper Kiki's Delivery vibes, but I've never read that or seen it, so I don't know if that's the case. I know that Jade's read this one and enjoyed it though. Two twins, one prophecy, a whole lot of hijinks. When 12-year-olds Danny and Dorian missed the bus to magic school, they didn't expect to be declared traitors of their own kind, but thanks to a mishap with a dragon egg, a broken broom, and a high-profile prisoner, their faces are on one wanted posters throughout the country. Chased by powerful families seeking the prophesied king of witches and royals searching for missing princes, the twins don't know whom to trust. So I am looking forward to reading this one. Again, the illustration looks really cute, but it's a chunky one, so I haven't got to it yet. But maybe during spooky season I will get a chance to get to it. Then I have The Ghoul Next Door by Cullen Bunn and Kat Farris. Again, this was another one I picked up during spooky season last year when I wanted some more middle grade graphic novels for Believeathon. When you feel like someone or something is watching you, 11-year-old Gray lives in the legend-haunted New England town of Anders Landing, and he can't help but feel like a pair of eyes are watching his every move. He even starts to discover odd, gruesome gifts left for him, like little bits and pieces from the graveyard, items like art carved from bone or jewelry made from hopefully not human remains. Soon Gray is caught up in something bigger than he could ever have imagined. He finds himself drawn into a strange mystery involving a race of reclusive subterranean creatures, ghouls, eaters of the dead. Turns out that his secret admirer is a ghoul named Lavina. Gray and Lavina prove their friendship can go beyond the grave. The only problem is their friendship breaks traditions, and the punishment is a fate worse than death. Sinister for a middle grade. I also have El Deafo by CC Bell. I've had this one for a while now and I should have read it really by now, but we're following CC. This is Own Voices. We're following CC, who is deaf, and she has like a hearing aid to help her hear, and one day she starts at this new school, and one day she realizes that she can actually kind of tune in to the teacher's lounge, and she thinks it's like a superpower, and it sounds really cute. And I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. I do keep meaning to do so, just for whatever reason I keep getting distracted and not doing so, don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, there is this one. Then I have Scales and Scoundrels, Book 1, Where Dragons Wander. This is a recommendation from Jade. This is the story of a girl who liked to wander. This gorgeous multicultural fantasy adventure follows treasure hunter Lavander and as she searches for golden glory. As she dives into an epic journey along with a young prince, her stern bodyguard, and a plucky young dwarf, our heroes will discover a secret that will bring light to a world encroached upon by ancient darkness. Sounds intriguing, and the illustration style looks really great. So I do have that one as well. Sorry, my battery just died, so if I've moved, that's why. Then I have The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. I have read this one. This was so sweet. This is following Prince Sebastian, who is looking for a bride, or rather his parents are looking for one for him. But Sebastian's too busy hiding his secret life from everyone. At night, he puts on daring dresses and takes Paris by storm as the fabulous Lady Crystalia, the hottest fashion icon in the world capital of fashion. Sebastian's secret weapon is his brilliant dressmaker Francis, his best friend and one of only 2 people who know the truth. Sometimes this boy wears dresses, but Francis dreams of greatness, and being someone's secret weapon means being a secret forever. How long can Francis defer her dreams to protect her friend? It's such a cute graphic novel, and I would recommend it if you're looking for something cutesy. It's just really good, and I really enjoyed how it ended as well, so I would recommend this one. Then I have Wingedbearer by Marjorie Liu and Tenny Isakanian, I think. I picked this one up in Waterstones in London while I was down there for Yalk, and Jade ended up picking it up as well. It's in the middle grade section, and it says, enter a world where magic takes flight. Zuli is an extraordinary girl. She just doesn't know it yet, raised by mystical bird spirits high among the branches of the great tree. She has no idea what awaits in the world beyond her safe haven, but when a sinister force threatens the life-given magic of the tree, Zuli must venture out with her guardian owl Frowley to get to the root of it, and an adventure begins. It sounds really good, and I'm here for like the different characters and stuff. It sounds great, so living for that one. Then I have Map Makers and the Lost Magic. I'm really looking forward to this one, actually. It sounds really cute. Sometimes magic doesn't wait for you to find it. We're following Alidade, who's going to leave and no one can stop her, not her mum, not the Nightcoats who control the valley or their stupid rules, but the valley has other plans. On the run from the Nightcoats, again after breaking another rule, again Alidade stumbles upon a secret door leading to a magical hideaway that belongs to the long-lost peacekeepers, the Mapmakers. There she accidentally brings to life Blue, a magic creature called a memory who is meant to protect the valley, but Blue needs Allyday's help to find the mapmakers and save the valley from the Nightcoats, but the mapmakers are gone. So she has a choice to make, and it sounds really, really good, so I'm intrigued by that one. Then we have The Witches of Brooklyn, which I've heard such good things about. Could there really be witches in Brooklyn? Effie's ants are weird, like really weird, really, really, really weird. Does that mean they could be magic? Does that mean she could be magic? Life is about to get much more interesting. Again, another middle grade one, and a witchy read that I will probably try and get to during October and spooky season. Then I have Squire, which is a graphic novel that I know Jade got an arc of, and I think she really enjoyed it, but I know that Maddie wasn't a fan. So I'm intrigued to see where I fall on this one. The illustration style is quite nice. And this one says, Born a second-class citizen, Aza has always dreamed of being a knight. It's the highest military honour in the once great Bayat Saji Empire and a member of a recently colonised Ornu people. It's her only way to full citizenship. Now ravaged by a famine and mounting tension between the different provinces, Bayat Saji finds itself on the brink of war once again, and Isa can finally enlist in the competitive Squire training program. And I assume it's about her going through that process. So it sounds really, really good, and I am intrigued by this one too. Then I have The OK Witch and The OK Witch and the Hungry Shadow by Emma Steinkellner. This is following a young girl called Moth who finds out that she is a witch. She had absolutely no idea. Her mother kept it from her. Her grandmother's a very, very powerful witch, and she's going through the process of trying to find her feet and trying to figure out how to use her magic while also not hurting the people around her. And the cat is adorable because he's not just a cat, and it's really, really cute, and I really enjoyed this series. I wouldn't be mad if Emma decided to do some more in this series, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It was very, very cute, and I would recommend it. Then I have Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell and Faith Erin Hicks, which I read every single year around spooky season. I absolutely adore this. I think I've read it like 3 or 4 times now, and it's following Deja and also Josiah, who are seasonal best friends. They work at this pumpkin patch every single year. However, this is the last year for them because they're going away to college, and Deja wants to make it one to remember. Now Josiah has had a crush on this girl that works there also. Deja wants to get him to go and ask her out. However, the more time they spend together throughout the day, things take a different turn, and it's very, very good. It's so autumnal and just such a beautiful graphic novel, and I would highly recommend it. It's very, very good indeed. I absolutely love it. Then I have Beetle and the Hollow Bones by Eliza Lane. I enjoyed this one. This was good. It says, in the eerie town of Aloes, some people get to be magical sorceresses while other people have their spirits trapped in the mall for all ghastly eternity. We're following 12-year-old goblin witch Beetle, who's caught in between. So she ends up being able to see the spirits that are trapped in the mall, but she's also a witch. She's just not a very good witch, and she tries to help the spirits as well, and she ends up making friends with this little spirit blob thing, and it's just really cute. I enjoyed the illustration style as well. It's very, very cute, so I would recommend this one, especially during spooky season as well. Then I have Quarantine Comics, which is a memoir of life in lockdown. I have not read this one yet, but I think it's going to be very intriguing. I've been waiting for a time where I feel like it's going to be appropriate to read this one. This is an award-winning graphic memoir of lockdown life. Quarantine Comics is a funny, tender, heartfelt and insightful look at isolation and loneliness for during, you know, the COVID lockdowns and stuff, so I'm intrigued to read that one. Then I do have Sheets and also Delicates by Brenna Thumler. This is a series. I wouldn't be mad if this continued either, but this series follows a young girl called Marjorie Glatt who's 13 years old, and her life isn't quite the same as everybody else's. She ends up running the family laundromat. I think her mother has passed away and she lives with her father and younger brother, and she ends up making friends with this boy called Wendell. However, Wendell is a ghost, and comes in the form of like a sheet in her laundromat, and she wants to help him. We are also dealing with a lot of grief and depression here with this young girl, and the fact that she has so much pressure on her to keep the laundromat going because her dad just cannot work because of his grief completely taking over him. And she's got so much pressure on her. She's at school, she's trying to keep the business, family business going, she's trying to keep her brother alive as well as herself. She's just really struggling, and then she makes friends with Wendell, and it's just really cute story. So do be wary going into this with it dealing so heavily with grief and also depression, but it is a very good story and I really did enjoy it. Then I do have Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganucciu. My apologies. This is a queer story about two boys. It's absolutely beautiful. The illustrations are gorgeous. We are basically following Ari, who, now that high school is over, Ari is dying to move to the big city with his ultra hip band if he can just persuade his dad to let him quit his job at their struggling family bakery. Though he loved working there as a kid, Ari cannot fathom a life wasting away over raising dough and hot ovens. But while interviewing candidates for his replacement, Ari meets Hector, an easygoing guy who loves baking as much as Ari wants to escape it. As they become closer over batches of bread, love is ready to bloom. That is, if Ari doesn't ruin everything. So Ari wants to move away. They end up taking on Hector to take over Ari's position, and while Ari is training him, he ends up, you know, they end up with a cutesy romantic thing going on, and it's absolutely adorable, and I love this graphic novel. I've been meaning to read it actually before summer finishes, but I've just not had a chance to reread it, so there's that. Then I have Mooncakes, which I friggin' love this graphic novel. I think I've read it like 3 times. I got an e-arc of it before it came out, and then I've read it twice more since then, and I absolutely adore this one. It is queer, it's absolutely beautiful, and I'm obsessed with it. One fateful night, teen witch Nova Huang follows reports of a white wolf into the woods and discovers her childhood crush, werewolf Tam Lang, battling a horse demon. Now against the backdrop of a slowly rekindling romance, Tam and Nova must investigate the dark supernatural forces eager to claim wolf magic for evil. Her grandmothers, though, are absolutely adorable as well, and I really enjoy it. Very queer, such a good graphic novel. Then I do have Lightfall, The Girl and the Galdorian, and also Lightfall, Shadow of the Bird, which is book 2 in the series. I really enjoy this series. Me and Jade have been buddy reading this, and we've been having the time of our lives with it. We actually buddy read this literally at the same time on a live show once, and then we buddy read this in the same day but not at the same time. I had other things going on later on in the day, so I read it in the morning. She read it later on in the day. And this is following a girl and a Galdorian. Galdorians are extinct. In the land of Urpa, an ancient threat awakens obsession with plunging the world into eternal darkness. Luckily, chance enlists 2 unsuspecting heroes to save the day. It's just so good, and the illustration style in here is beautiful as well. Absolutely stunning. So I am obsessed with this series, and I cannot wait for more. So I'm having a great time with it, and I'm really excited to get more out of it. And then another series that I really enjoy and I cannot wait for more from is The Sad Ghost Club by Lizzie Meddins and The Sad Ghost Club 2. So I'm really excited to get The Sad Ghost Club 3. I think it comes out in February next year or March. So we're following our main character SG, who is Sam, but they go by SG, Sad Ghost I assume. And they end up meeting another sad ghost at this party called Socks, and they end up building this friendship. This is very much surrounding depression, anxiety, potentially suicidal thoughts, and it's a very good story, and I just really enjoy it. And then it continues, and I'm just obsessed with it. It's so good. This is a story about what happens after you find your kindred spirits. This is the story about finding your kindred spirits, and I just adore this so much, and I would recommend it highly. Then we obviously have the Heartstopper volumes. I do have volumes 1, 2, 4, and I also have the Fairylute hardback editions of volumes 1 and 2. I am going to be collecting all of these, but I'm going to keep the paperback ones as well because I do enjoy reading these ones, I think, anyway. I will be getting a paperback copy of volume 5 because it's going to take a while for Fairylute to catch up, I think. But this is following Nick and Charlie, who are 2 young boys and absolutely adorable. Nick is gay, and one day he ends up making a new friend in school called Charlie, and he ends up having a massive crush on Charlie, but he's convinced that Charlie is straight. He has an entire group of friends who are absolutely fantastic, and I really enjoy them entirely, and his sister Tori is just the best sass I've seen in a book for a long time, and I just really enjoy this series. It's so adorable, and I would highly recommend, if you haven't read it already, I don't know where you've been, but it's so freaking good and I would recommend it. Then I have The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag, which is queer, and it's really good. It's following 15-year-old Morgan, who has a secret. She can't wait to escape the perfect little island where she lives. She's desperate to finish high school and get as far away as possible from her divorced mum, her volatile little brother, and a group of best friends who don't actually know Morgan at all. Because really, Morgan's biggest secret is that she has a lot of secrets, including the one about wanting to kiss girls. Then one night, Morgan is saved from drowning by a mysterious girl named Kelty. Suddenly, life on the island doesn't feel so stifling anymore, but Kelty has some secrets of her own, and as the girls start to fall in love, everything they've been hiding from each other will find its way to the surface, whether Morgan's ready or not. And it's such a beautiful story, and I absolutely love it, and I would highly recommend. It's very good. Also from Molly Knox Ostertag, I do have the Midwinter Witch series as well. The Witch Boy, The Hidden Witch, and The Midwinter Witch. This is following a young boy called Aster, who everyone in his family is born with magic. Boys grow up to be shapeshifters, girls grow into witches, no exceptions. However, Aster hasn't come into his shapeshifting, and he wants to be a witch. So it's a story about change and accepting yourself and things like that, and it's very good. I really enjoy the friendships in here, and also just the family elements in here as well as the magic. It's a very good story. I do have Lore Olympus Volume 1 and Volume 2. These are both the Illumicrate editions, and I absolutely love them. I'm obsessed. I have read both of these, and I have given both of them 5 stars. This is essentially like Greek mythology retelling. It says on the bottom, brings the Greek pantheon into the modern age in a sharply perceptive and romantic graphic novel. It's absolutely beautiful, and it follows Persephone as well as her mother Demeter, Artemis, and also Hades as well. And it's just such a beautiful series, and I'm obsessed with it. The illustrations are gorgeous, and I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this series. You can read it online for free, but I choose to buy the graphic novels because they're so pretty. So there is that. I do have Blackwater by Jeanette Ario and Ren Graham. This is one that I can't remember how it ended up on my radar, to be honest, and I have read it, and I'm intrigued to know if there's going to be a volume 2, because I did enjoy this one. It was quite good. It is queer, and it's basically welcome to the haunted town of Blackwater. Tony Price is a popular high school track star, an occasional delinquent aching for his dad's attention and approval. Eli Hirsch is a quiet boy with a chronic autoimmune disorder that has ravaged his health and social life. What happens when these two become unlikely friends, and a whole lot more in the spooky town of Blackwater, Maine. Werewolf curses, unsavoury interactions with the quarterback of the football team, a ghostly fisherman haunting the harbour, and tons of high school drama. It was really good, and I enjoyed this one. I had a really good time with it. I've only read it recently, and it was really good. Again, perfect for spooky season. Another one I also read recently was On a Sunbeam by Tilly Walden. This is a very chunky graphic novel, and it's quite good. The illustrations are absolutely stunning. There are pages where there's quite a lot of text and pages where there's not much text at all, and I did have a good time with this one. It's following Maya, who joins the crew of Actis, who are working to rebuild and restore beautiful broken down structures. However, as she integrates into the group, we flash back to her time as a rebellious schoolgirl and the events from which she can't move on, leading her on an epic quest that connects the past, present and future of her and the crew. It's very much got found family in here. It is queer, there is relationships, family, found family. There's so much going on, as well as like the space side of things. I did kind of lose it a little bit towards the end, but it came back round, and I did really enjoy this one, and I would like to pick up more from Tilly Walden as well in the future. This is the first Tilly Walden that I've ever picked up, and I did really enjoy it, so I will pick up more from her in the future. Okay, and then on to the second shelf. you will notice that there are way more graphic novels there then that would actually fit on the shelf. The majority of them are sitting on the sofa because I can't fit them on. But I do have a couple of encyclopedias here that aren't graphic novels, but they sit on this shelf anyway, so I'm going to tell you about them. I've got the DC Comics Encyclopedia. If you didn't know, I am a huge DC and Marvel fan, more so Marvel than DC, but I got the matching DC one to go with my Marvel one. And this essentially will take you through the different characters from DC. This is the Cyborg page. There's a lot going on here. I don't go through these very often, to be honest, but if I wanted to know more information about characters from DC or Marvel, I have these for reference if I wanted to check them out. My parents got me them a few years ago and they've just kind of sat here. I haven't done a great deal with them. This is the Marvel one, but they are really pretty and I do enjoy having them on my shelves if I ever wanted to read them. This is the Hulk's page, I assume. And they just have so many, and it'll tell you like the different stories and stuff. I don't go through it too often because I don't want to spoil myself for what's supposed to come up next, but I do have it for reference, like I say, just in cases. And they are very big books as well, so they take up quite a bit of space, which is, you know, a pain, but it is what it is. I also have a Guardians of the Galaxy guide too. Because I am a really big DC and Marvel fan. You have Fantastic Four Secret Invasion, which is volume 3, volume 2 and volume 1. And then on top of that I also have Guardians of the Galaxy volume 1. I have Civil War The Initiative, which I have read. I have Hulk. This looks more like She-Hulk than anything actually. But I have this one, and then I do have 1 to 5 of The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger as well, which I have also read. I preferred these to the actual book as well because I've read the first book and I didn't continue. It was too much. I wasn't interested. So some more graphic novels. Okay, so I do have the Tea Dragon Society, the Tea Dragon Festival and the Tea Dragon Tapestry, which I have read all of these. This is just a really cute graphic novel series about tea dragons, and that was a perfect page to open up to. It is queer and it's absolutely stunning, and I just am really obsessed with this series. I reread it, not regularly, but I have reread it and it's really, really cute. Very big again, graphic novels, but just really cute, and I'm obsessed. I love it. It's really good. I also have The Sister Who Ate Her Brother and Other Gruesome Tales by Jen Campbell. This I have read. It was quite good. It's not so much a graphic novel. It is like a proper stories and stuff, but I do keep it on my graphic novel shelf because it's got illustrations, and it's a very quick read. So it's basically just little stories, short stories about little tales and stuff, and it's a little bit gruesome, but it's good. I like it. Then I have Cody by Jared Cullum. This story, I've got no idea where I saw this for the first time, but it's absolutely adorable. We're following Katia, who is a young girl. I think she's called Katia, yeah. A young girl who is staying with her Mima, her grandma, spending the summer at their cottage in Alaska when a chance accident leaves Katia face to face with the biggest creature she's ever seen, Cody the bear. And she ends up trying to help the bear get back to health and stuff. However, her Mima gets a call saying that Katia's aunt is not doing very well and they need to go back to Seattle and see her. So she has to leave Cody. And this is the story of Cody trying to get across country to get back to Katia and meet her in Seattle, and it's just absolutely adorable and I'm obsessed with it. I've read it probably 3 times now and it's just so beautiful. The illustration style is gorgeous, and I constantly keep my eyes open for more by Jared Cullum because this is so beautiful and I really want more. So I really enjoyed that one. Then I have Injection Volume 1 and Volume 2. I have read Volume 1, but not yet Volume 2. I'm undecided whether or not to continue with this one. So on the back it says, once upon a time there were 5 crazy people and they poisoned the 21st century. Now they have to deal with the corrosion to try to save us all from a world becoming too weird to support human life. So this is very much so like a post-apocalyptic type story, and it's very good. It is science fiction, tales of horror, strange crime fiction, techno thriller, a ghost story all at the same time. Serialized sequence of graphic novels about how loud and strange the world is getting, about the wild future and the haunted past, all crashing into the present day at once, and about 5 eccentric geniuses dealing with the paranormal and numinous, as well as the growing weight of what they did to the planet with injection. So the first one, it was fine, but I still didn't fully know what was going on, so I could do with reading the second one and finding out more, but I can't remember if they continue or not. So again, I think I'm undecided what to do with it until I know what's going on with them. But yeah, I have that series. I also have Low Volume 1 and Low Volume 2. Jade loves this series. I read Low Volume 1. I think I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it as much as Jade did, but I got Volume 2 regardless because I thought I could carry on and see what goes on with it, whether or not to continue with it. This is in the far distant future. The sun's premature expansion has irradiated Earth, sending humanity to the lowest depths of the seas, hidden with radiation shields, cities, while probes scour the universe for inhabitable worlds. After tens of thousands of years, a single probe returns, crashing on the Earth's surface, a now alien place no human has seen for millennia. Now Estelle Kane and her husband Joel, the last helmsman of the once great city of Salus, must rise from the depths of mankind's despair and journey to the surface in search of salvation. So yeah, I am considering continuing on with this one, but we will see. The second one is so much smaller than the first one as well. So much smaller. So we'll see whether or not I decide to continue with that one. I do have Extraordinary by V.E. Schwab. This is fantastic. It is a graphic novel continuing on from the villain's story, which is Vicious and Vengeful, which I absolutely love. And this one follows on from Vengeful, I think, if I remember correctly. It's following a young girl called Charlotte who ends up becoming an extraordinary after an accident, and she's kind of being hunted by Eli, and you find out why in this story. It's really good. I really enjoyed it, and I had a good time with it. I'm really excited to get the second volume as well. The illustration style is beautiful and it was really well told, and I'm very excited to get the second one. I do have the Compendium 1 of The Walking Dead. I have not decided to continue, well, I have not decided to buy Compendium 2, but I have been making my way through this very slowly but surely. I'm on chapter 7 of this one. If I can get Compendium 2 second hand, I will do, but I'm not buying it like first hand. I got this one second hand. The Walking Dead is a post-apocalyptic zombie story. If you don't know what The Walking Dead is, then I'm not sure whereabouts you've been, but this is obviously a TV series as well, and this is the graphic novel version of it. So yeah, I enjoy this, actually, to be fair. I enjoy the series as well as the graphic novels, so I have a good time with it. Next, I have the Adventure Zone series, volumes 1 to 4. We have volume 1, which is Here There Be Gerblins, volume 2, Murder on Rockport Limited, volumes 3, Petal to the Metal, and volume 4, The Crystal Kingdom. I have read volumes 1 and 2 and really enjoy this series. This is a D&D campaign, essentially brought to life as a graphic novel series, and you actually have the dungeon master that will interrupt every now and then as well and have a bit of a chinwag with his D&D characters. And it's a lot of fun. I believe that the McElroy family who do this series also have a podcast too, so I am intrigued about listening to that, but I don't know a great deal about D&D. Regardless, I have really enjoyed this series and I am looking forward to continuing on with it, so I do want to do that and move on to volume 3 soon. Next, I have the Teen Titans series. So we have Raven, we have Beast Boy, and we also have Beast Boy Loves Raven. This is a really good series. I really enjoy this series, especially Raven. I had a great time with this one. The illustration style on this is gorgeous. It's mostly black and white with pops of purple throughout the series, and it's very good. This is following 17-year-old Raven when a tragic accident takes her foster mum, and Raven's memory. She moves to New Orleans to recover and finish her senior year of high school. Starting over isn't easy. Raven remembers everyday stuff like how to solve math equations and make pasta, but she can't remember her favourite song or who she was before the accident. And when impossible things start happening, Raven begins to think it might even be better not to know who she was before. But as she grows closer to her new friends, her foster sister Max and Tommy Torres, a guy who accepts her for who she is now, Raven has decided that she's ready to face what's buried in the past and the darkness building inside her. So it's very good and I really enjoyed it. Then we went on to Beast Boy, which follows this young boy who basically has been taking tablets for most of his life, which he thought was for an illness. It turns out it was to stop this from happening. So he has like a mutation or something. Again, 17 years old. And then this one is following the two of them meeting and then being kind of not hunted down, I don't think so much, but Slade Wilson is trying to look for them. Yeah, I'm aware of Slade Wilson from Arrow, I think. I'm fairly certain it's Arrow anyway, unless it's like some of the DC movies that I've watched, I can't remember, but I'm aware of him anyway before I read the Teen Titans books. I also have Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. I would recommend this for spooky season. It's very, very good, very dark. But it's a very unique illustration style. Let's go with that, shall we? Very unique indeed, but it's good. I had a good time with it. Very, very dark indeed. It's a collection of short stories told in graphic novel format, essentially. Told in illustration format even. Let's go with that one. Then I have Inkblot, which I know nothing about. I essentially picked this one up because Jade picked it up in Forbidden Planet while we were in London. I didn't know until I then watched her haul when we got back. And it sounds really good. This says a powerful sorceress must attempt to correct her greatest mistake, the creation of a magical cat that can travel through time, space, and the 7 realms of reality. The cat threatens to unravel the fabric of the universe, doesn't care, and just won't listen. So it sounds really intriguing and the illustration style looks quite good as well. So I am very intrigued by this one. Then I have volumes 1 to 3 of Die, which is another kind of like D&D type. It's not actually D&D, I don't think, but it's again another kind of game type. Oh no, it is D&D type graphic novel. I picked this one up because of G. She really enjoyed the first one, so I picked up the first one, read it and enjoyed it, and I'm intrigued to carry on. I know that G hasn't enjoyed the second and third one as much as the first one, but I am looking forward to it. I think G, yeah, she actually gifted me volume 2 as well, so thanks G. And April gifted me volume 3, so I did enjoy this one and I am looking forward to continuing on with it in volumes 2 and 3, so we will see when I get round to that one. Put these back on the shelf in the correct order. I do have Witches volume 1, which is a horror graphic novel. When the Rooks family moves to the remote town of Lynchfield, New Hampshire to escape a haunting trauma, they're hopeful about starting over, but something evil is waiting for them in the woods just beyond the town, watching from the trees, ancient and hungry. I don't know, it's got to do with witches, to be honest. I think it's to do with there's a witch in a tree or something, and it's horrific. I don't know much else than that. I haven't read it, but I'm intrigued to do so, probably during spooky season. Then I do have a collection of the Buffy, Angel and Willow graphic novels. This is obviously Willow. I do have Angel volume 1. I've got Buffy volume 4, volume 3, volume 2 and volume 1. I believe that you have to kind of like cut these up a little bit, so like read Buffy volume 1 and then Angel volume 1, then Buffy volume 2 and then Willow or something. I don't know the full order, so I haven't read them yet, but I do plan on doing so. This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then Angel, and Willow is Buffy's best friend. So I wasn't a massive Buffy fan when I was younger, but I did watch it anyway. If it was on the telly, I didn't go out of my way. I know Becca is obsessed with Buffy, and she's, again, the reason why I picked these up. I was influenced by her, but they look really good, so I am intrigued to get to them and give them a read at some point. Then I have Isolar Volume 1 and Volume 2. I really loved Isolar Volume 1. It was so beautiful. The illustration style is gorgeous, and I am really intrigued to continue on with the series. I would just like more volumes to come out. I don't know if there's going to be more volumes or if there already is, but I would like some more to come out so that I can binge the series a little bit. 2020, so maybe there should be another volume out by now. But this says, how far would you journey to save the Queen and Kingdom? To save Queen and Kingdom. An evil spell has been cast on the Queen of Mar, and her captain of the guard will do anything to reverse it. Their only hope lies on an island half a world away, a place known in myth as Isolar, Land of the Dead. A lavish new fantasy series from the acclaimed storyteller Brendan Fletcher and Carl Kerschel. I loved it, absolutely loved it, and I can't wait to continue on to Volume 2 as well. Next we have one of my biggest series, and that is Lock and Key Volumes 1 to 6. I really enjoyed this series. This is a kind of like horror graphic novel series, basically about this family who own this massive mansion. The dad dies in the beginning of the series, of the book, and the family moves to this massive mansion where the dad's brother lives, mum, son, daughter and younger son, and basically they end up realizing that this mansion is not as it seems, and there are locks everywhere and keys everywhere, and it turns out that like the key can be used to open the back of your head up and take out memories or whatever, and there is also like some baddies that are trying to get hold of the keys so they can control people and stuff, and it's very, very good, and I would recommend it. It's by Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King, if you did not know. Some people are always shocked to hear that, but I absolutely love this series, and it's also now on Netflix as well, which I haven't seen yet, and I really want to because I've read the graphic novels and enjoyed it, so I do want to watch the TV series. But yeah, I love the Lock and Key series. This is volumes 1 to 6. I do have another middle grade graphic novel here that I've just found, which is City of Dragons, The Awakening Storm. I assume this is a dragons middle grade graphic novel. The dragons have awakened. When Grace moves to Hong Kong with her mum and new stepdad, her biggest concern is making friends at a fancy new boarding school, but with a mysterious old woman gifts her a dragon egg. During a field trip, Grace discovers that the wonderful stories of dragons she heard when she was a young girl might actually be real, especially when the egg hatches overnight. Interesting. Then the biggest series on my shelves is Saga, volumes 1 to 9, and I absolutely love this series. This is a sci-fi fantasy series following these two main characters. They are two soldiers on opposite ends of a galactic war, and they essentially fall in love and have a baby, and then people from either side of this war are trying to hunt them down. So it's very, very good. Very erotic as well, so be wary of that going in, but I really love this series and I cannot wait for volume 10 to come out. I've been waiting for freaking ages now for volume 10 to come out. I actually binged the whole thing, so been waiting a while for volume 10. I haven't been waiting as long as some people, but I've still been waiting a while, and I am looking forward to getting to it, hopefully very, very soon. I think it comes out soon, so looking forward to that one. Another reasonable length of a series. These are two different series, but they follow back to back. So we do have Descender volumes 1 to 6, and then Ascender volume 1 to 4, which is currently ongoing, I believe. So Descender essentially follows this young robot called Tim 22. Tim 21, close, Tim 21. 10 years after the planet-sized robot called the Harvesters appear and wreak havoc across the galaxy, a young android named Tim 21 wakes to find that all robots have been outlawed, but Tim may hold the secret to the Harvesters in his machine DNA, and he quickly becomes the most wanted robot in the universe. With bounty hunters and threats lurking at every turn, Tim embarks on a mind-blowing adventure through the stars along with his robot dog Bandit and the lumbering mining droid Driller. This is really, really good. Basically, when Tim was younger, he was a companion bot for a young boy, and when all of the shiz went down with the planet-sized robots called the Harvesters came and invaded 10 years ago, when Tim woke up, he just assumed that the boy that he was a companion for died and stuff, and it turns out that's not quite the case. But 10 years has passed now, so the young boy is now a grown man, and we follow that story in this, and then we move on to this one, which essentially follows the young boy who Tim was a companion bot for as a man, but we also follow this young girl. A decade has passed since the events of the chronicled in Descender series. So at the end of this one, at the end of volume 6 in Descender, another 10 years have passed. And we move on to Ascender. Much has changed. Magic has taken place of machinery, and rules are very different indeed. Mila, the daughter of Andy and Effie, Andy is the boy that I was just talking about, spends her days exploring the lonely wilds of the planet Samson and trying to stay out of the clutches of evil disciples of all the powerful vampire witch known only as Mother. But like her parents, Mila doesn't play by the rules, and when a certain robot pal of her dad shows up, nothing will ever be the same again. So I really enjoy both of these series. I had a really good time with both of them. I do need to catch up with this one. I think I've only read volumes 1 and 2 of Ascender, but I keep waiting for more to come out so I can binge them again. But overall, really enjoy them. If you're looking for a sci-fi series, this is a great one. I do have Blackbird volume 1, forever waiting for volume 2. I don't know if it's ever going to come, to be honest, but I absolutely loved this one. This was such a beautiful book. The illustration style was gorgeous in this one, and I absolutely love it. So it was really, really good. When did this come out? 2019. I've been waiting ages for this one. The Great Beast. Magic is like water, your heart is a fountain. There's a magical world hidden in LA, and Nina Rodriguez knows it. When an enormous otherworldly beast kidnaps her sister, Nina must confront her past and demons, not to mention the ruthless Cables in charge of the city's magic, to get her sister back and reclaim her life. I really, really enjoyed this one. The illustration style in here was just absolutely stunning, and I really want more from it, but I don't know what happened here. Because I enjoyed it, and I've seen so many other people like this one, so I don't know why there hasn't been a volume 2, to be honest, but I'm impatiently waiting. Then I have Monstrous volume 1 and 2. I have read volume 1 and it was okay, but I didn't love it, and I got volume 2 just to see whether or not to continue on with it, but I haven't read it yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do about this series. I'm unsure. Set in an alternate world of Art Deco, beauty and steampunk horror, Monstrous tells the epic story of Micaiah Half-Wolf, a teenage survivor of a cataclysmic war between humans and Arcanics. In the face of oppression and terrible danger, Micaiah is both hunted and hunter. Searching for answers about her mysterious past, are those who seek to use her remain just one step behind, and all the while the monster within her begins to awaken. I think I was just incredibly confused with this book. I didn't really know what the hell was going on, but I usually find that that's the case with graphic novels, is that you have to get to at least volume 2 to really understand what's going on, because obviously they're graphic novels and it's all in pictures and stuff, so you can't always get through to the root of exactly what's going on in the book in the first volume. So do try and always give it till at least volume 2, but I haven't yet read it, so we'll see what happens with that. If I do decide to continue, I will reread volume 1 though, because I need to, because I honestly didn't know what the hell was going on. Similarly with The Wicked and the Divine, I have volumes 1 and 2. I have read volume 1. I was going to buy all of these and then binge them, but I haven't had chance to get to them. Graphic novels are not cheap. Every 90 years 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. I really enjoyed volume 1 and I would like to continue on with the series, but again I want to be able to binge it, so I have waited to continue on with this series. Hopefully I will do so, because I did really enjoy it and I would like to carry on. Let me know if you've read this one and what your thoughts were. Do you think I'll enjoy it? Then we have Skyward volumes 1, 2 and 3. I really enjoyed this one. This is like a sci-fi series, basically following Willow, I think. One day gravity on Earth suddenly becomes a fraction of what it is now. 20 years later humanity has adapted to its new low grav reality, and to Willa Fowler, who was born just before G-Day, it's pretty awesome. Who wouldn't want to be able to soar through the air? But there are dangers too, and not just the fact that with one wrong step you could go flying off into the face of the earth. go flying off the face of the earth. Some dangers lurk much closer to home than she knows. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was very, very good. I really enjoyed the illustration style. I enjoyed the story. I wouldn't be mad if they wanted to do some more in this series. But I think that we've pretty much wrapped this series up now. But if you wanted like a smaller sci-fi type story that's surrounded by gravity, this is one for you. I do have volumes 1 and 2 of the Old Guard. I thought for a minute then I'd held them up wrong. I really enjoyed this series, and then I watched the first movie that's come out as well that's been done following this series and really enjoyed it. So I'm having a good time with it. I wouldn't be mad if there was more from the movies or from the graphic novels. It's really good. We're basically following immortals. This is a fairy tale of blood and bullets. It's a story about time and age and ages, and about friendship and love and regret. It's a story of 2 women and 3 men who can't die, mostly. Their names are Andy, Nikki, Joe, Booker and Niall. They are soldiers and their war never ends. They've been everywhere, seen everything and fought in virtually every conflict through the present day. For centuries they have kept their existence hidden, never staying in one place too long, always moving from mission to mission. But today the shadows aren't so dark, and they're about to learn that secrets are impossible to keep, and you absolutely do not want to get in their way when those secrets are laid bare. It's a very good series and I really enjoy it, so I would recommend this one if you like your kind of like morally grey superhero stories. They're not even that morally grey, to be fair. They are pretty much superheroes, but they don't see themselves as superheroes. They're just always kind of in the background, rather than like, you know, Marvel and DC where everybody knows about them. Nobody really knows about them. It's very good. I liked it. I do have Motor Crush Volume 1 and 2, which is a motorbike series, basically. Welcome to beautiful Nova Honda, the racing capital of the world, home of the prestigious World Grand Prix, the illegal street race, the Cannonball, and the racer caught between both of them, Domino Swift. Domino is one of the best racers on any circuit. By day she competes for fame and fortune in the WGP. By night she cracks heads of rival gangs in brutal bike wars to gain possession of a rare valuable contraband, an engine boosting machine stimulant known as Crush. It's very good. The illustrations in here are great, and I really do enjoy the story, so I had a good time with this one. And then finally I do have Homesick Pilots. I don't know where volume 1's gone, and I don't currently own volume 2. This is volume 3, don't ask. I really enjoyed this series. It was, I've only read the first one so far and I do want to continue, but the first one is following a couple of kids, I think, that went into a haunted house and things went very sour very, very fast. A few kids died and there is some very supernatural goings on happening in that series, in that house. Homesick Pilots is actually the name of the band of the kids, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it, and I'm looking forward to continuing on with the series. And yeah, I'm excited to continue on with this one as well. So that is my entire graphic novel, manga and comic book series collection. That was a really long video. I'm shattered now. I'm glad I saved this one till last because this is the 3rd video I filmed today. But yeah, I have really enjoyed reading the graphic novels and manga and comics that I have so far, but I'm also very excited to continue expanding my collection and adding to it as well. Chat to me in the comments down below. Let me know if any of these have caught your eye or whether you are thinking about getting them since me talking about them. Do you have any of these in your collection? Have you got recommendations for me? Because I'm always open to new graphic novel, manga, comic book recommendations. So chat to me in the comments down below. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people have asked for this video over the years, and I've now finally found the time to make it. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.